Well, there you go. Good evening. It's Monday, June 27th, 2022, and coming to you from the Lonely Tree Media Studios in Yakima, Washington. This is the Best Lamm Sports Show. I'm your host, David Lamm. With me is my son, Parker. Say hello, Parker.
Hello, Parker.
Woohoo! Is it? Hey, well, the audience, you can see behind me.
Yeah, they're taking their sweet time.
Yeah, they're late arriving. I can't rely on those guys. We are streaming tonight on YouTube. We're on Twitter at Lamm Sports, on Facebook under the Best Lamm Sports Show. You can send us an email at lammsports@gmail.com. Please check out our webpage, which is lammsports.com. You can find links to the past shows and the current trivia question on there. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. We got a lot of things queued up. Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Draft, PGA Tour and Live Golf, WNBA, MLS, MLB, I don't know, College World Series, USFL. So much stuff. Lots of sportsing happening, right? happening this last weekend. So we're going to talk about all of it. So let's just dig right in. The first segment of the show is brought to you by The Range. The Range is Central Washington's premier indoor shooting destination. If you haven't checked them out, go to therangellc.com and you can find all the training, membership, and VIP information and opportunities. Check out their calendar under the events tab. You can find the complete schedule for the month. You can enroll for most of the events and training online with just a few simple clicks. Anyway, go to therangellc.com. Check it out. That's The Range, 1701 Garrettson Lane in Yakima, 509-571-1449. So let's talk about the NHL, because that happened. That just happened. You know what? Let's start with a trivia question.
Sure.
Because we'll give us time to think about it. Best Lamm Sports Show trivia question brought to you by Stone Wine Estates in Hood River. Which Pac-12 basketball team has been to the NCAA tournament the fewest times? Fairly easy. There's only 12 to pick from. So there you go, straightforward. You got about an hour. So think about it. Let's go to NHL now. Let's talk about them. Okay. So Colorado Avalanche finished off the Tampa Bay Lightning on Sunday with a 2-1 win in Tampa to win the Stanley Cup Finals Series 4-2 and to win the Cup for the third time in franchise history. Tampa struck first in Game 6, just 3:48 into the game as Steven Stamkos made it 1-0 Lightning. Colorado scored twice in the second on goals from Nathan MacKinnon and Arturi Lehkonen and shut out Tampa the rest of the way. It took Colorado only a few minutes to dent the trophy in the post-game celebration.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time that it's happened, but it
the guy, one of the two official like trophy people, the guys who are always with the trophy, they say that it's the fastest that it's ever happened. They've never had one get dented on the ice.
Hey, setting records, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So all that aside, and I know you watched most of the games. I don't know if you got to catch them all, but
I got to catch most of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched this one.
So my question is this. This is the underlying question I have about hockey. I like hockey. I like playoff hockey specifically.
It's fun.
Is it exciting enough to be a major sport in the United States?
Yeah. They've made some bad strategic partnerships. I think that the networks that they've partnered with haven't been great to get exposure. I think the Adidas partnership emphasizes that it's not an American sport. I feel like there's a bunch of little things that are not relatable about it. It's not super prevalent, not super available, unless you go out of your way to buy NHL TV and watch the thing. I mean, even if you have even if you live in the city with a hockey team, you don't get all of the games unless you have NHL. Every Blazer game's on TV here. One way or another, it's on TV here. I mean, if you have a basic cable package that includes ESPN, things that you're going to get everyone. That's not the case with hockey. You're going to miss 10 games a season because you don't have, the NHL package, or you don't have their online subscription. It's just, I feel like they could do a couple things to make it bigger and broader and more exciting, but it is exciting enough of a sport to keep things interesting, and to keep people engaged. I mean, and it's great. 20 minutes, and then you take a break, and then you do 20 minutes, and then you take a break. but it just the intermissions are long. It's plenty of time to get food in between. Like it's
Yeah.
great. I think it could.
I do like that format better than I like the NBA and the quarters, because the NBA, not only do they have the breaks at the quarters, they're only a couple minutes long,
Yeah.
except halftime, but there's also so many timeouts during the play.
So many timeouts.
And
Yeah.
and it takes too long because they're just commercial timeouts, you know what I mean? And they're just there to sell ads. Whereas a hockey broadcast doesn't necessarily have those. There are a couple during the broadcast. You'll get a couple. But for the most part, the play only stops if there's a penalty or the puck goes out of play, something like that. So I like the fact that it's constant action. I do.
Well, the average length of an NBA game is 2 to 2.5 hours. The average length of a hockey game is 2.5 to 3 hours. So it is a little longer of an event.
Yeah, but
for 60 minutes also.
Yeah, it's
of playing time.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a full hour of game time.
But that includes is it like 18 minutes? Is that how long an intermission is? Something like that.
Something like
it
that.
includes 30 minutes worth of breaks.
Yeah, which is nice.
So,
and yeah, you're right.
It's nice.
Perfect time to go to the bathroom, get something to eat. Get back in your seat.
And there are times where just the puck is constantly going out. I think I saw like one series where it might have been over the course of 3 minutes the puck went out of play like 10 times.
Yeah.
And they just constantly are stopping to do another face-off, stopping to do a face-off, stopping to do. It's like, oh my goodness, can we move this along?
That and icing, you know what I mean? That's the only
icing, yeah.
Offside, I guess. But that's so. The other thing I have why I asked the question is because hockey. Like I said, I like hockey. If you ask the casual sports fan in America, he probably doesn't know. He might like hockey and he might watch hockey, but he probably doesn't know the rules or the terminology. And I think that at some point in time, somebody, broadcast network, whatever it is, needs to step up and go over hockey. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe it's before each broadcast they cover something about hockey that people wouldn't necessarily know. Problem is, I think Canadians know hockey. That's what they grow up with.
Right.
And even people in the Northeast of the United States, they grew up with hockey. Their kids played hockey.
I would say pretty much through the northern United States, with the exception of maybe Washington.
Not the Northwest.
Not the Northwest, but I think that when you get into, as soon as you get into Montana, they have a great hockey team. North Dakotas have great hockey teams. Of course, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, they have all got great hocky teams.
Well, I mean, they're almost Canada, so
they're Canada adjacent.
Adjacent, yeah. Yeah, it's just. I would like to see it be bigger. I like it better. I like the format better than most American sports. Maybe aside from football, but anyway, that's all. I was just asking, just because I like it. I think it's exciting. I don't think regular season hockey is very exciting, but I think playoff hockey is very exciting when you have overtimes and sudden deaths, and it means something important. And Game 6 of the regular season, meh. But I guess that's that way with every league.
Yeah, a little bit, but hockey does have it is extra special. I love this picture that you posted there with all of the guys like going, oh my goodness, and the big old dent on the bottom.
The dent was just ridiculous. I'm like, dude. So anyway, so let's move to.
Wait, hold on. This I need to tell you, ask you my trivia question because it's hockey related.
Okay, go ahead. So do I get to wait till the end of the show to answer, or is that?
No, you get to answer right now.
Okay.
How long does a player's name stay on the Stanley Cup trophy?
How long does a player's name stay on the Stanley Cup trophy? Well, I would imagine. So are they not adding bases onto it anymore? Is it fixed now?
Yeah, they're taking bases. They're taking rings. Well, so they move the rings up.
Right.
And they put on a new bottom ring, but they take off a top ring.
So that's what's happening. So that's how long it stays on. So you got to know how many teams are on there.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm guessing it's somewhere in the neighborhood of, I don't know. Gosh, I'm thinking about it now. Hold on. Let me look at the trophy again.
Let me look at the trophy again.
It's gonna come back up here in a minute. Let me see it. Oh my gosh, it's so, and the freaking type is so small. The print is so small. I'm gonna go with 20 years.
The correct answer is 65 years. It's 65. The longest your name can stay on the trophy.
Unless you win multiple times. That's only if you win at one time.
Right. That's if you win it once and you never win it again. It kind of goes away. But But for that title, the longest it'll stay on there is 65.
65 years.
And then they'll get pulled off.
Unless Colorado dents it and ruins it.
Well, they say every 13 years they pull off a ring.
Holy cow.
So,
okay, well there you go.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Otherwise, it'd be unmanageable to hold on to.
I did not know that. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I was listening to one of those little steward guys talk about it, and I was like, learn something new every day.
I never really realized. I know it's big and it has lots of rings. I just didn't realize how many teams are on it.
I didn't know it has every player's name on it.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's why I'm like, oh well, I thought it was always the size it was, and there was some blank space on there, and they were just working through it. I thought they just put a team name on there. Nope, they put every player's name on it.
It's little. It's very little print.
It's the tiniest script you could ever see.
It's pretty cool though. All right, let's move. So let's talk about the NBA draft, shall we?
Right on.
The Magic, first pick overall, Paolo Banchero from Duke.
Yeah.
One of the top 3 or 4 players probably in college.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Not a bad call.
I'm good with that. He's a versatile player. You know what I mean? He's, I can deal with that in terms of size and strength, and he looks good. Look good.
My problem is that he's an inside scorer, and with the way the league has been heading, Russell Westbrook's an inside scorer, but if you don't have a 3-point game, you're not going to last.
Right.
So him being an inside scorer primarily makes me a little nervous because he's not the best facilitator. So.
Chet Holmgren of Gonzaga goes number 2 to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
He kind of thought he was the number 1 pick, but a lot of people thought he might be number 1. But I guess it really doesn't matter. And then what I was told was that, what I read, let's call it that, was that he intentionally skipped out of an interview with the Magic, like left early, so that they wouldn't draft him number 1.
That's fair.
I'm like, but I mean, okay, but.
No, I mean John Elway. Forced his way. All these guys
Manning.
do it all these guys do it all the time, and it sucks. But if he doesn't want to play there, you don't want him there. Period.
But why would you not? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Well, remember, money is not the biggest motivator anymore. The difference between pick 1 and pick 2 is quite a bit of money,
right.
But these guys are already making money. They don't need to worry about that anymore. I mean, the kid from Miami, their new quarterback signing, he took $2.5 million less to go play there,
right,
than he did to go to Georgia. So clearly, money's not everything anymore. And so he's like, I would rather play for a team that might have a little sooner of a future,
right?
Maybe not as mismanaged and take a little less money.
So the Rockets had the 3rd pick. They took Jabari Smith out of Auburn. I like Jabari Smith. I
did too.
I think that's a good pick. He's going to be a good player. The Blazers drafted 7th. They drafted Shaden Sharp. Let me see if I can get you a picture of Shaden Sharp just so that everyone can see. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Let's not do that. Oh, really? If I hit stop, it just disappears. That's awesome.
Just disappears, yeah.
I like that. Okay. Well, got to change properties at some point. That's okay. So, Shaden Sharp out of Kentucky, sort of. I mean, he was at Kentucky. That's about all you can say, because he didn't play at Kentucky, and it's interesting. I feel to draft someone who never played a college game. I mean,
they clearly saw something they liked.
Yeah, they must have, and I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know what. I have no clue what it is.
There's a lot of positive praise being heaped on him in terms of what he can do, but I mean, you didn't see it in college. You didn't get to watch him, so I don't know, because I didn't see him in high school. So I really don't know.
Being an athletic person to me is no longer a skill.
Right.
Everyone's athletic. Everyone in the draft is an athlete and can get up and can throw them down. I don't care. I need to know, can you shoot with pressure?
Right.
That's what I need to know. If you can't do that, and I have not seen this guy under pressure from anybody that matters.
Yeah, that's true.
So I've watched some of his AAU film, and AAU teams kind of are what they are. Some of them are well built, well stocked with talent. Other ones are a rich guy who has his son has an AAU team and all his friends. So you can just wipe the floor with those guys when you're truly athletic. So I don't know. I don't think there's enough there to give this pick any credit, especially not when Jalen Duren was sitting there. and
Yeah.
hadn't been taken yet. I didn't like that. I didn't like that we passed on that for somebody who actually put some college time under his belt, was a defensive asset for a guy who's never stepped foot on a,
Yeah.
well, if you want to call them professional athletes, college athletes,
Yeah.
who's never stepped foot against a professional athlete.
Yeah. So then the Blazers' second pick was in second round, number 36, and they drafted Gabriel Procida from Fortitudo Bologna, so played in the Italian league.
Yeah.
Then proceeded to trade him to Detroit. And by the way, I'm a little upset about it because there's Gabriel Procida,
Yeah.
okay, and I was getting ready to use all of my Mr. Bean references.
He doesn't look that much like Mr. Bean.
Oh, yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Oh my gosh.
His ears are way bigger.
Oh, I know. He's got little
Mr.
ears,
Bean's-
but he's got that look. His ears stick out, and he has it. Anyway, I was going to use that all the time, so I don't get to use that anymore. So a little disappointed. But the trade to Detroit brought the Blazers Jeremy Grant. I think
Right.
that's a pretty good deal. I think
That is a great deal.
I think that's a big pickup for Portland. That's the kind of player that we've been talking about for how many years? 2 years? That they need.
Yeah,
You know what I
a
mean?
defensive 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, I think that's a good pickup. I don't know how he's going to do in Portland. I mean, we'll see. But he did play with Damian Lillard at some point on I'm trying to remember where. I read this and I can't remember where now. Anyway, at some point in time, he actually played with Damian Lillard, like on a all-star team or not an all-star team, but like a Olympic team. It wasn't an Olympic team. I don't know. Anyway,
Sure.
Anyway, but they played together at some point in time, so they know each other, and I guess that's part of the reason why they went after him. So there you go. But anyway, I think it's a good pickup, Jeremy Grant. I think it's going to be a good pickup. And so the Blazers with their third pick, which was 57 overall in the second round, Jabari Walker out of Colorado. I like Jabari Walker. I'm okay with that pick too. That's also another tall, lanky person. I like the more. If you're going to talk about athletic people, I know you're saying that's not enough, but I want them to be long and lanky and able to block shots and defend. You know what I mean? If they can shoot the three, that's even more helpful. But I like players like that, and I think that the more players you have like that can switch and defend multiple positions, the better off you are.
Yeah, I agree. I like him too. I think he's going to be really big. He gave the Ducks a lot of problems.
Yeah, I don't know about how come the NBA draft is only 2 rounds.
That's all you need,
I guess. None of the other guys really matter at that point, I guess.
So NFL rosters have 53 players?
Yeah.
Is that right? 53 starters?
53, 55, something like that.
53 times. How many teams are there? 32 teams?
Yeah, it's a lot.
32 teams, divided by 7 rounds. It's 242. Wait, what am I doing there?
I don't know. It's a lot of math.
I don't know where I'm going. Where I'm getting at is that there's substantially less players in the NBA. There's substantially less spots on rosters.
Oh, yeah.
You get substantially less drafting rounds.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess.
But even then, the Spurs still get 3 first-round picks.
I don't, some of these players, some of these things happened, because in 1983, they traded so-and-so to so-and-so for a 2025 first-round pick.
Yeah.
And you see it come to light when you look at the draft order and you go, how did they get all those players? Where did that come from? And then the loser of this whole thing had to be the New York Knicks. And
had to be.
It had to be. I didn't even understand the strategy. They drafted some guys and traded a bunch of guys. They traded almost everyone they drafted.
Right.
Yeah. And got like one guy out of it. And it was weird. I was like, I don't even understand what you guys are doing. So the Knicks might be one of the worst franchises just in general right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mismanaged teams. What's new?
Yeah. Well, Portland never was very good at drafting players anyways, too. So that was.
But this is why you sit out the interview with the Knicks.
Right. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Blazers also got a center from, what's his name? They also got a center. Did I even put him on here? It's Pistons. The Pistons number 46 pick, Ishmael Kamagate.
Oh, nice.
6'11" center that's been playing in France. So they picked up another player. So they got some bigs in the deal. I mean, they got some players that can play some defense. It looks like if Shaden Sharp is what they hope he is. Obviously, you're hoping at a number 7 pick that this guy is that you're able to insert him and have him play meaningful minutes right away. Maybe not be a starter, but at least get in the game.
Right.
Yeah, if that happens, they're gonna be looking up. I think this is a good draft on paper, but I've said that before about the Blazers.
Yeah, they do that sometimes.
They do. It'd be like that. So here's my question. I feel like let me go back to these pictures. I feel like there was a guy. Let me go back to the one that I want to get. This one. I feel like there was a guy outside the Barclays Center selling necklaces and chains.
Yes.
Before the draft, because what's with Chet Holmgren and the dice on the chain? What is that about?
He's saying people are taking a chance by rolling dice on him.
I guess it's weird that like everybody has some sort of jewelry with the exception of Adam Silver, but his name is Silver. So anyway, and this picture clearly demonstrates that I thought Chet Holmgren was fairly pale. Adam Silver has to be the pastiest white man in the history of white men.
He definitely looks like a vampire.
Yeah, he does. It's ridiculous.
So the question is, on this picture, who has the best outfit?
Wow.
Who has the best and who has the worst?
Who has the best one that I like, though? I mean, because what I like is different than.
Yeah. Who has the best one based on what you like?
I'm kind of a fan of the lavender, not the purple with the crap on it. I'm kind of a fan of the lavender.
What is his name? Davis from Wisconsin.
Yeah, Johnny Davis.
Johnny Davis. Yes, that was gonna be my favorite as well.
I don't know. I don't have a good picture of just him.
It's either him or Shaden. I like Shaden's black, kind of all black look.
Black.
Yeah.
Which got a little quilted look to it, kind of.
Yeah, I think those are both really sharp. But yeah, the lavender's my favorite, and the least favorite is definitely number 1 overall.
Banchero's. What is hanging off of his?
I don't know.
Suit. I haven't. Oh, where's the other picture? I mean, I was looking at it and I still couldn't figure out.
Yeah, I
what
saw
that
when it
is.
happened. I was like, I don't get this.
It's like got danglies. I'd get that caught on everything. Right?
He gets up. He just leaves parts of it on
the chair would be going with you, and I mean everything. I mean, I would gonna snag that on everything. There's no way that's. Anyway, I don't know what those are, but I'm sure it was expensive.
Apparently, he said it was Prince themed.
Oh well, it's purple, so yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, maybe that's all he meant by it. I don't know what those things are. I'm like, I got a picture here. They look like little sunflowers, like little metal sunflowers.
Maybe they are. Maybe they're paisley. It's like a paisley Prince thing. I don't know. Shit, I don't know. So
yeah,
well, I don't know, man. I have no idea. I'm just gonna tell you that.
Kind of strange.
It was weird, but it's you know what? Hey, you're the number 1 overall pick. You can wear what you want.
I guess.
I mean, just wear what you want. So I'm waiting for the day that a redneck kid from the South is drafted number 1 overall, and he comes up there with like cut off suit. He's got just the jacket, but it's got cut off sleeves.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind it should be full denim, but to look like a suit.
You could have a denim suit. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Full denim suit. That's the Brett Favre special.
Yeah, with a mullet. I would like that. That would be awesome.
You're more likely to get that in hockey.
You are more. There's a lot more mullets in hockey than any other sport. So
this was one of my favorite dressed drafts. I think that the majority of the guys, even this weird suit,
didn't go
the
crazy.
suit itself was still pretty tame.
Yeah.
Just the weird decorations on it were strange.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's still funny.
Adam Silver's looking at him like, I don't know if I want to hug it.
Yeah, I mean, if I hug you, I might never come apart from you. My suit's
gonna poke my hands on this
right.
stuff.
I can't do that. Let's just high five and. Anyway, let's talk about golf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the PGA Tour announced changes to its pay, playoffs, and schedule in time for the 2023 season to combat the loss of players to the Live Golf Tour. At the same time, very literally when they were announcing this, the same time that Brooks Koepka announced he was leaving for the new tour. The new changes are including increased payouts of at least $20 million for some marquee events, and they're talking about like the Memorial and I don't know. There's some other things. The PGA, not the PGA Championship, but the Tour. No, I don't know. I don't remember. There's another one. Anyway, there's like 5 of them, 6 of them that they're going to make big payouts. Well, that's exactly what the Live Golf is. It's got 8 events, and they're all big payouts.
Right.
And then they're also adding 3 limited field, no cut events with purses over $25 million. And I'm like, that's exactly what the Live Tour is. There's no cuts, limited field. right? So they're actually changing to be just like Live Tour, or they're changing some of it to be just
But
like the Live Tour.
but they're greedy. They're doing it for just for the money.
Right. And then they're also going to change the size of the playoffs so that you only a smaller number of people actually qualify or exempt from qualifying, I should say, the next year.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so instead of it being like it's like 100, it's now down to 70. So 70 guys at the end of the season will get into this FedEx Cup playoffs. They're exempt from qualifying next year, but the other people will have to, which means there's a lot more people going to lose tour cards, right? And I don't know how that's good for your game. Oh, more competition. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Or guys will say, "Screw this! I'm going to go play somewhere where they won't cut me."
Yeah, I'm just gonna go play in the Live Tour and make twice as much money for
Yeah.
a lot less effort.
PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan said the changes will help the PGA by, quote, offering a more compelling product for our players, fans, and partners. Which begs the question: why didn't you do it before? This is exactly why.
You tell me you took these other guys coming up with it for you to come up with it.
Oh,
and you act like it's your own idea.
And then he said, "Oh, it was already in the works."
It was already in the works.
Oh yeah,
before Live.
whatever. Yeah, I came up with that. It's my idea. I don't I don't know, man. I don't know why they didn't do it for. And where's the extra money coming from? Because they didn't offer the big. You're getting extra money. All of a sudden, we can afford to pay extra money and 3 different events that are larger purses. Even what are you doing? Where did that come from? And I thought every golf event that you told me, every golf event on the PGA Tour was meaningful, and now you're making some more meaningful than others. And so guess what? Some of those won't be able to compete. Anyway, it is what it is. But I just, this is exactly what Greg Norman and the other players that left for the Live Golf Tour were saying before. The PGA Tour wasn't giving them what they wanted. And now they're saying, oh, well, since we got competition, maybe we got to give you what you want. Anyway.
Jeez.
I know. So the Live Golf Tour is at Pumpkin Ridge Golf Club outside Portland this week, while the PGA Tour is at the John Deere Classic in Silvis, Illinois.
Silvis, that's where I do most of my things.
Silvis. I don't know. It's a John Deere thing. They got actual John Deere TPC Deere run. It's John Deere has their own course, I guess. I don't know. But so also this week or this last week and a half, it's been over the last week, Abraham Ancer is joined the LIV Tour, and now Matthew Wolff. The players are coming, and it may not be the top 5 or 6, but the players are coming. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And actually, Live Golf has applied for official world golf ranking points.
Interesting.
Because what was going to happen is the PGA Tour at some point, when they ban these guys, you can't come play on the PGA Tour. Okay. So the points that they had, they don't get any more points. They're never going to add more points. So they're going to drop down the world golf rankings. Right?
Yeah.
And so now the PGA Tour can say, well, you've got like the bottom 20 players in the world. Well, yeah, because you aren't letting them play and they can't get any points. Well, if Live Golf has their way, they're going to get golf points. And this brings us to a whole different thing. We're talking about the Ryder Cup, which happens next year. Dustin Johnson already qualified for the Ryder Cup. And they're talking about maybe not letting him play.
Like revoking it?
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, man. He qualified. Fair and square. You know what I mean?
You can't do that.
But they're talking about changing the way the Ryder Cup is now, because originally the top 6 in those rankings get in, and that was Dustin Johnson with 6, and then they invite another 6 players based on their captain's choices.
Right.
And by the way, Phil Mickelson is a vice captain for the 2023 event. So I don't know how all this is going to go down, and I don't know how the players are going to. They all have to, swallow it and get along together, because, they're going to be on a team. But I'd be surprised if there wasn't at least 3, if not 4. There were 3 of the guys playing in the Live Golf Tour on the 2021 Ryder Cup. So there could be 4 on this one. So out of 12. So anyway, just saying, it's going to be interesting. It's going to get a lot more fun. But I'll be there this coming weekend on Saturday. I'm going to watch the final round. It's going to be great. So hopefully going to take some pictures, and if I can, might do a live spot from out there. We'll see what I can do if I remember, because I'll get engulfed in golf.
Engulfed in it.
Yep, engulfed. Anyway,
that's fun.
Yeah. I'm hoping to find Greg Norman, get a picture with Greg Norman.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's what I'm hoping to do. So
He'll be around.
he will be, and he'll be out there walking around. I know he will. Anyway, so there's that. Thoughts on PGA Tour, Live Golf? Anything?
Other than sucks to suck PGA Tour, get better, do it faster, quit riding all these great, like, I think about all these, like, some of the, well, I mean, that's not true. I see some of them just kind of stay the same, but it just feels like when people feel like they have a good thing, they really will do anything they can to protect it, include being in complete deniability that something else might be better.
Yeah.
And that's just all they are doing. They refuse to believe that anything else could possibly compete with what they have to offer. But anything else is at least different. Golf is one of the most stale sports on earth, along with baseball.
Right.
And anything you can do to spice that up, which there isn't a lot because the game is the game. It's still quiet while somebody's driving, regardless of whether it's a shotgun start or not.
Right.
But it just, I don't know. I'm happy that somebody else is just putting it to them a little bit and making them work.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna find out some more.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
It's good for the sport.
It is. I think it is, and that's in there. The PGA Tour is totally, bad mouthing the whole thing, and because they have to, but it is definitely going to be good for the sport. Whether you think it's morally wrong where the money comes from or not, the PGA Tour takes money from the same people. So
I just don't think anybody gets to. There's nobody who gets to live on that high horse. It's just not. It's no one is. No.
And if you
doing so well, so right, so good all the time that they get to do this.
And if you don't think FedEx takes packages in and out of Saudi Arabia for,
sure,
is taking money from, and that's your major sponsor, FedEx, of your playoffs. Anyway, never mind. So, whatever. So anyway, they're just like they're in denial of what it is, and it's not us, it's you guys. Let's talk about Boss Kitty. Okay. Boss Kitty hand-dyed yarns. Be sure to tune in to BossKittyLive.com for knit-alongs, games, fun, exclusive sales. You can go on to BossKittyShop.com, which is where I am at right now if you're looking at it. And get your kitty glitter yarn. It's soft, sparkly, out of this world. You can read the thing, right? And then looking for a gift, get them a Boss Kitty Shop virtual gift card. Let them pick it out themselves. That's Boss Kitty hand-dyed yarns. Yarn so boss, you'll knit your pants. So that being said, let's talk about football.
Okay.
Let's talk about Arch Manning.
Arch Manning
for a minute, and we're not Archie Manning,
Arch Manning,
and not Peyton or Eli or Cooper. We're talking about Arch Manning. Arch Manning finally committed. He's probably the biggest quarterback recruit that I can remember. Biggest. I mean most sought after by when I say biggest. I don't know that he's the best. I mean, we're going to find out. But anyway, he committed. He's the son of Cooper Manning, nephew of Peyton and Eli, and grandson of Archie Manning. But he finally made his decision about where he's going to play college football. And I put in here at least his first year.
At least his first year.
Because there's a transfer portal awaiting if he doesn't play football this next year. I guarantee it.
Right.
Anyway, and that decision was University of Texas. He could have played probably anywhere. Is my guess. Am I wrong? Well, here's him in a Georgia hat. How much gear do you get as a college football player when you go on these official visits? Do they just outfit you head to toe? And
quite a bit, but they also take back some of it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, so like they'll give you like a jersey to wear or a jacket to wear or something like that. So that way all pictures of you are wearing this stuff.
Right.
And then they'll take some of it back.
He literally I saw pictures of him in a full Georgia football uniform.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm like, whoa, what are we doing?
Well, yeah, they have like these like little. Have you seen the video of Brian Kelly dancing with the recruit?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's exactly that. So even PSU had like this little room set up that had a uniform and a helmet and cleats, and players could try it on and take Instagram photos and things like that. It's just that way you can keep your hype train alive.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all it is. Yeah, it happens.
He's also a two-sport athlete.
Yeah.
By the way.
I don't know how good he is at basketball, though.
I don't know either. It looks like he's losing the ball in this picture.
Yeah.
But here he is at Texas, of course, already with the Texas gear on. I think this was
right.
I don't know if this was commitment or visit. I can't tell you, but
it's probably during visits. Doubtful that it was during
there's him and Dabo.
Yeah,
Clemson. He could have gone to anywhere he wanted to. And then of course
just about.
there's his lineage. There's all his grandfather and uncles and father. So all of whom were quarterbacks. Cooper, from what I hear, could have been the best one of them, other than his physical limitations. So that's what I heard.
What a bummer.
Yeah, isn't that sad? But I mean, they're all good. Here's another question for you, and this is not about Arch Manning, but well, okay, let's finish Arch Manning first. Oh nope, don't want to talk about that one yet. Um, so should we care that he announced this thing? I mean, he's going to bring immediate attention to Texas just because of the name. There's going to be a lot of media hype around it. There's going to be a recruiting bump around it. Is it a big deal? And what I'm told is that the reason he went there a lot is has to do with Steve Sarkisian and his ability to develop offensive talent. He's gotten endorsements from Peyton and from David Cutcliffe, who actually taught Peyton how to throw football, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so, I mean.
We should care.
Should we?
A little bit. I mean, it's still exciting to watch a Manning come back into college football. This isn't just any quarterback. It's the return of one of the greatest names in college football history, as well as one of the greatest names in NFL history. More towards the NFL than the college side, but because while Peyton was really successful in college, and so was Eli, neither one of them was competing for national titles year in and year out. So, but yeah, I think it's kind of neat. But
yeah,
it doesn't go much past you read it and you go, oh, cool.
Yeah, right.
And that's it. That's how much you care. You care that much to where like it doesn't bother you that it shows up, but also if it didn't show up, it wouldn't bother you either.
I was more intrigued about the fact that he was a two-sport athlete. I was looking at basketball pictures of him. So I was more intrigued about that than I was about him announcing he was going to Texas. I am a little befuddled by the Texas thing, other than if he stays at Texas 3 years, they'll be in the SEC.
I think they're going to make a jump earlier.
You think they're going to just cut it and go?
Well, because what's their names? The other schools are coming in next year after. I think the other schools are coming in either next year or the year after. To
the Big 12?
To the Big 12.
Yeah.
So I think that's when they're just going to cut ties and bounce.
Okay.
So I think that it could be even sooner than that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. That whole thing, the SEC is going to have 20 teams in it before long, and then what? I mean,
nah. They'll get too many, and then they'll stop, or they'll split into two divisions in SEC, like a true SEC East and a true SEC West, that are their own conferences, and then you'll just have another conference.
Yeah, maybe.
But they'll all share the same marketing and branding as the other thing.
That's true. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like they've got 14 teams now.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult now. Yeah,
and they're going to add Oklahoma and Texas. That's going to be 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to where are they going to put them? They're going to have to go in the West, right?
I think one's going to go in the West, one's going to go in the East, but I don't see how. Or they're going to move somebody from the West to the East, and then just I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how it works.
It's funny because the nearest team to the East is Alabama.
Yeah, move Alabama to the East.
I don't think they'll do that though. I don't think they would do that. But Texas A&M is in the West, so you would definitely want Texas and Texas A&M to play a game every year.
They'll move Auburn to the East then.
Oh, maybe. I mean, they might. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
So that way Alabama has one less game against Texas or or Oklahoma because we got a spot that's booked by an East team. What are we going to do? It's a rivalry game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I feel like when you get to that point, 16 teams that's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. You've got seven division games, right?
With 16 teams, yes.
Yeah, with 16 teams, you got 7 division games, which means you got to play everybody in your division, right? Or right. No, I don't know, but I mean 7, and then you're going to get to play.
They don't play everybody in the division now.
Well, but the way they're scheduled right now, you'll have 7 in your division. You should. I mean, you should play everybody in your division, otherwise you don't know who the best team in the division is.
Yeah, that's the point.
Not just the conference.
That's the point, though. If they keep you confused about how good are they actually because they haven't played everyone in their division, then they can always maintain deniability when somebody loses.
It's true.
It's like, well, we know, hey, they never played anybody, so we didn't really know. Or if they win, they go, they don't need to play everybody. We just know.
Could be. It could be. I don't know. All I see is 8 teams in a division. You're going to play 7 games, and then it means you get 1 game against the East or the other division.
We both agree it's too much.
It's too much, yeah.
It's too much. So, it was too much. It's going to be too much more.
Unless they're going to cut one of those non-conference games and actually play 9 conference games, but I doubt that's
And even then, it's still too much.
You're right. It is still too much.
Yeah.
I thought
they're gonna split up into 2 conferences at some point.
I thought 14. I even think I think 10's the right number. Every conference should have 10 teams. You play everybody once, 3
Right.
non-conference games, and everybody's got the same basic schedule, and then the world's good.
I don't mind 12 because it keeps the hype alive for some games when they come back around.
It's true.
Oregon doesn't play USC every year, so when they do play, it's extra exciting,
extra special.
Yeah, I mean, but they play often enough to where it's you don't have to wait forever to see it,
right.
But it's exciting. So, yeah, I think the SEC will split into 2 conferences at some point.
Okay. Yeah. So let's move to something else. Rob Gronkowski has retired again. This is the second time officially that he retired. I don't know. What his agent said, he would not be surprised if Tom Brady convinced him to come back. And I've heard from a couple of different people on media that said he's coming back.
Sure.
Why do it then? Why? I mean, other than what you talked about off air was that he did it so that he wouldn't get traded.
Well, the first time he did so he wouldn't get traded. Yeah.
But I mean, what's the point? Is it a negotiating tool?
Maybe.
Does he need the money? Because he can't possibly need them. I'm sure Tom Brady paid him a crap ton of money.
Well, there's a big long history of Rob not liking working out.
Oh, he just doesn't want to do the OTAs and the.
Have you heard that thing where he was required to send Tampa videos of him like running sprints? So in one day he went out and changed clothes 20 times and just ran sprints and just sent them on different days.
That's smart. Yeah. That's
so
that's
if he
thinking.
Just retires and then just maintains his body on his own time, which he's clearly never had a problem with.
I mean,
then who cares? Yeah, he'll just come back at some other point. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's necessary, but I could also see it being yeah, I'm tired of getting beat up. My body hurts. I'm done. And then mid-season comes and Tom's like, we need a tight end.
He's working
and
hard.
He's like, all right.
He's working hard at the if you work that hard at avoiding things. Are you avoiding anything? That's a lot of work just to say I did. You could have just put he didn't have to run for more than a few minutes, right? I mean, just run every day and change whatever. Instead, he did it all in one day because that's what.
See, guys like Rob Gronkowski break this. You got to get out there and work and grind mentality. It's like, no, sometimes you just got to be kind of blessed with some good genes and make some good decisions. And then you can just kind of coast,
right,
and still compete at a high level.
When you're 6'7" and built like that, you don't have to do much.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you do need to stay in relative shape, but all you got to do is be good enough to catch a football.
Yeah, but once you get there, it's just maintaining. That's all it really is. So anyway, all right. Well, let's talk about the Major League Soccer for just a minute. The Portland Timbers actually have a 2-game unbeaten streak. I mean, what? After beating the Colorado Rapids 3-0 at Providence Park on Saturday, Yaroslav Nicegoda scored 2 for Portland in the win. Timbers are just 4 points out of the playoffs after 17 games and playing very poorly, really, for most of the first half of the year. So just 4 points away. They're literally a couple of wins away from being in the playoffs. And I would tell you that this is one of the worst soccer teams I've seen in Portland. But, hey, what do I know? Next up for Portland are the Houston Dynamo on Wednesday at Providence Park. Houston is just 2 points ahead of Portland in standing, so it's a big game for them. It would be a big win. They'd move ahead of Houston if they do that. One step closer to being in the playoffs. I don't know. So gratuitous soccer picks because sometimes I forget to just move them forward. But anyway, thoughts on the Portland Timbers? No?
Keep up the upward trend.
Yeah, I mean, just keep winning. Or at least not losing.
Or at least not losing. Yes. Yeah. That's right.
Keep
winning, or at least not losing.
That's the other option in hockey and soccer. Just don't lose. And you'll get points. And you'll move. Anyway, but hey, what do I know? Let's talk about the USFL. And by the way, hold on.
Yep.
Thought I was going to sneeze.
Yeah.
The USFL. I did. The USFL, it is so hard to find pictures, media of USFL games. They're almost non-existent. Their website is atrocious. Their box score, not the box score, but the Gamecast. If you go to the ESPN website and you watch a Gamecast, you look at an NFL game, it has all the scoring plays, listed. They do that, but they also put in key plays during the drive. But it has its own little box, key play. and then this. But when you read it, and part of what I'm going to say is, in the game. So we had two games the past week in the semifinals. The Philadelphia Stars upset the North Division winning New Jersey Generals 19-14. Quarterback Case Cookus, who you're looking at right here, ran for the only offensive touchdown of the game for Philly in the second quarter, giving them a 10-0 lead. And it was 14-13 New Jersey when Maurice Alexander Jr. returned a punt 87 yards for a touchdown that gave the Stars the lead for good with 2 minutes left. And when you read the box score, or not the box score, but the game cast, it doesn't say Maurice Alexander Jr. as the punt returner. It says the punter returned his own punt for a touchdown. And I'm like, what is going on? It's like it reads like a mess. It's just ridiculous. And I'm like, you guys need to fix that. I mean, I know it's year one, but this is fairly easy stuff. I mean, this should be some technical guy. This is his job, right? To make your website run efficiently and be able to, read things. Anyway, but so there's that. New Jersey was driving late when Amani Dennis intercepted a Luis Perez pass to seal the victory for Philadelphia. So they're in the finals next weekend. In the other semifinal, the Birmingham Stallions defeated the New Orleans Breakers 31-17. Birmingham's been the best team all year. They scored 3 times in the second quarter to take the lead for good. The defense intercepted New Orleans quarterback Kyle Sloter twice during the game. And Victor Bolden Jr. returned a kickoff 90 yards for a touchdown. And anyway, championship game now. Philly, Birmingham. We got 2 teams that are both red and gold. Pretty excited about it. A lot of
gonna be boring to watch.
It is gonna be boring to, but it is on TV. So if you want to watch it, championship game is next Sunday, July 3rd, 4:30 Pacific time. It's on Fox. So they got big time TV for the playoffs for the championship. And there's Bolden Jr. right there in the picture, running down the field. Looks like that guy could probably tackle him, but he didn't. Anyway, that's not the point. So don't go to the USFL page if you're listening, and just go to USFL2.com, click on the scores, and then click on one of the games, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's atrocious. It's not user friendly, and it's really, really bad. But anyway, hopefully they'll fix that. So
that sounds right.
Yeah, it sounds like a low budget operation is what it seems like.
Like you said, first year.
First year, and they played all the games in Birmingham. Next year, we're going to see what happens. Hopefully, they're going to have teams playing at home next year. So that'll make it more interesting. Maybe.
We'll find out.
Let's talk about the WNBA for just a minute. The race for first in WNBA has gotten a little tighter. The Las Vegas Aces have lost 2 straight, and the Chicago Sky has benefited by winning 3 in a row. The Aces now lead by just a game. They're at 13-4, while the Chicago is 13-5. The Connecticut Sun are 1 game back, 12-6. Sabrina Ionescu and the New York Liberty are now 8-10 after their 1-7 start. New York doesn't play again until Thursday the 30th when they host the Atlanta Dream at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Ionescu's been playing well, averaging 19.8 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 7.2 assists over the last 2 games. Or 10 games, sorry. And so that's,
not bad.
That's reaching triple-double a game stuff. And so she, last week or the week before, I think it was the week before, she became the youngest WNBA player to ever record 2 triple-doubles. Yeah. And she's gonna break all kinds of records. So there's that. But anyway, so WNBA is at the halfway point on the season right now. Las Vegas plays at the LA Sparks on NBA TV right now, I think. And the Indiana Fever are at the Phoenix Mercury. If anybody's caring about WNBA, I don't know that they are. But if you do, some of the games are interesting. I'm not a huge fan of women's basketball. Just because, I guess, skill level has, by watching the NBA and college and everything, it's the skill level. Some of them are very, very skilled, and then some of them aren't still. And it reminds me of women's college basketball where they play and one of the, UConn beats somebody 110-30.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's still a disparity. There aren't enough really, really, really good players to make this league really, really good yet. And it'll come maybe.
Yeah.
But
and then not to mention, the assist to layup is one of the most boring plays in basketball.
Yeah.
Right. The 3-point shot is gorgeous. The dunk is obviously the most exciting play. The alley-oop is the most exciting play. The dunk's the second most exciting. A good step back jumper is really fun. These aren't things that they do very much.
Yeah.
They do pass to assist and spot up shooting,
Yeah.
which spot up shooting, I can always appreciate a shooter. It just is lacking a little excitement because there's just not that much height. There's not that
No.
much. There's not that much athleticism compared to the men's sport.
Eh,
That's what the problem is. If the men's sport never existed, this would be the pinnacle of exciting basketball. But there is a men's side to it, so
Yeah.
it just is. You could watch the Magic play the Rockets last year, and there were more dunks in that game than there has been in the WNBA in its history.
Right.
And that's an insane idea.
It
So
it's yeah, and you're right, and you get a lot of layups. You get a lot of missed layups.
yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of missed layups,
there'd be
a lot of ones where they just kind of heave it at the hoop.
there'd be a lot more assists if people could finish, and that's the problem is that you don't have finishers. Anybody who drives at the basket, I mean, it's not a given, and there aren't guys, they're girls, but there isn't anybody making those spectacular drive to the basket, reverse layup, the high off the glass kind of stuff, because you just the skill level is not there. And I don't know. I guess when I watch basketball, that's what I'm expecting is more. But I've been ruined by the other stuff. So
And there's definitely haves and have-nots
Yeah.
in women's basketball. Like I think that Sabrina Ionescu and Candace Parker could
Yeah.
play in the NBA. I think they would stand a chance.
Yeah.
I don't think that the bottom 10% the bottom 50% of the WNBA would even make the G League.
I'm not sure they'd make.
It's not even close.
I'm not sure they'd make most men's college basketball teams.
Yeah, I'm not sure they would
Yeah.
make most. Yeah, even I think you could even start getting into talking like D2 range. Like, would
Yeah.
they make D2 men's teams?
Right. You've got.
I don't think it's there. I think you don't have enough skill or athleticism.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have enough skill, but not nearly enough athleticism to compensate for pure athleticism from
Right.
18, 19-year-old dudes. So,
And when you've got teams of 12 to 15 players in the
Yeah.
WNBA, when you've got, I don't know what the roster size is, I really don't, but I'm guessing it's probably 15.
about the same. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you got 15 players and one per team is really good. Another one per team is probably good. And then another team, one or two of the teams has three that are qualified, and then the rest of the players are, you know what I mean? So by the time you get to players 14 and 15 on the roster, it's like watching small college basketball, women's small college basketball. So it's interesting. I don't know. They need to grow. Not
And this is not a challenge. All these people
No.
can cook me.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm not. I'm
I
not.
know where I stand on the basketball.
I'm not
hierarchy.
going to put down their talent. I'm just saying that the product they put on the floor isn't what you see in other leagues in the NBA, even in the G League, but it's not the same exciting level of play.
From an entertainment standpoint, it doesn't have it.
Right. Yeah, it's just
Right.
missing a little something.
Yep.
But I mean, it is what it is, and good for them because they're getting to play professional basketball, and I think that's great. I think everybody should have a chance. That Anyway, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Major League Baseball real quick. I have an MLB. That's the wrong one. We'll come back to that. But let's talk about Major League Baseball. This is MLB.com. These are the standings, the current Major League Baseball standings as we sit right now. Yankees still in firm control of the AL East. They got an 11-game lead over Boston. Boston's been pretty warm, 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 7 straight, and still 11 games back of the Yankees. They just can't make up any ground. Yankees have pitching, they have hitting, they have everything. It's just kind of ridiculous. Minnesota has a 2-game lead over Cleveland. The Guardians, not the Indians. Remember that, people. The Guardians, I think it's a terrible name. They have a 2-game lead over them in the AL Central. Both those teams, that whole division, kind of struggling. If you look at the last 10 games there, 5-5, 5-5, 4-6, 4-6, 6-4. You know what I mean? It's meh.
Not going well.
It's meh baseball. The Twins have 41 wins. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just meh. And then the AL West, Houston's one of the best teams in baseball right now. They started out a little slow, but they've won 7 out of the last 10. They no-hit the Yankees recently. They actually in the last they've won 9 of their last 13 games, including a 2-game sweep of the Mets, who are in first place, and they took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, no-hitting them in one of those games. They have a 10.5-game lead over Texas in the AL West. And there's your Seattle Mariners, if you guys are Mariners fans, 34-40 on the season. And they do what they did every year, which is start out the first week of the season and you go, wow, there's hope. And then there's no hope. So
Sounds right.
yes.
Hope. No hope.
Yeah, there's no hope. It goes away really fast. National League, it's still the Mets in the National League East. They have a 5-game lead over Atlanta. That's despite the Atlanta's huge 13-game winning streak they went on earlier this year. And again, that division's kind of playing mediocre baseball right now too. 6-4, 5-5 over the last 10 games. But the Mets have a 5-game lead. Milwaukee has taken the lead from St. Louis in the NL Central. Those two teams are going to swap back and forth, but the rest of that division is miserable. Pittsburgh, the Cubs, and Cincinnati are all bad. Just how it is. And then the Dodgers and the Padres have been flopping back and forth the lead in the NL West, but the Dodgers have a 2-game lead right now over San Diego and San Francisco, 6.5 back. San Francisco would make the playoffs, I think, if it started today. I think that's true. I think we got more playoff teams this year. They've expanded the playoffs again, which I'm not a big fan of, but I kind of like. I wish it would go back to the old way. One league, one winner, and then they play a World Series.
Interesting.
You know, back in the day before they went to divisional play, they had the National League, the American League. The team that won the National League played the team that won the American League in the World Series. That was it.
Right.
And then, we're going to have divisions. Okay, so now we got American League, National League Championship Series. Oh, well, now we're going to have wild card teams. Now we're going to have 3 divisions. You know what I mean? It just keeps – it's the same teams. They just keep realigning them, reorganizing them so they can make more playoff games. It's more money. I get it. But it isn't making better baseball necessarily.
Right.
So, I don't know. The more playoff teams you have, the less the regular season means. You can get in and get hot at the right time and you win. And speaking of that, let's go back to of course it did. Because, let's talk about the College World Series. Because we're talking about teams getting hot at the right time. Ole Miss is your NCAA baseball champions for the first time in school history as they swept Oklahoma in the College World Series finals in Omaha, Nebraska. They beat Oklahoma 10-3 on Saturday using back-to-back home runs in the 8th inning to break open a 4-2 baseball game. And then in Game 2 on Sunday, they won again. 4-2 was the score to capture the first ever title for them. 2 wild pitches by the Sooners. Trevin Michael in the bottom of the 8th scored 2 runs and broke a 2-2 tie and led to the 4-2 final score. That's a tough way to lose a baseball game is 2 wild pitches. But anyway, congratulations to the Rebels. They were not the last, but one of the last 2 or 3 teams to make it into the NCAA tournament field.
Yep, and then they caught fire.
You just start winning, and there you go. So
and you start winning, you start believing, you start winning, you start believing.
You got a national championship next thing you know.
Yeah. It's that easy.
It's that easy. Just got to get there. But that's why I say when the regular season doesn't mean anything, and you have 64 teams going to a NCAA baseball tournament, regular season's not super important as long as you get in the tournament.
Yeah.
You have a chance to win. NCAA basketball thing's the same way, except we all know that it's kind of top heavy in the basketball tournament. But anyway, no big deal. So, all right. So we're done with news. So what have we got left? You've got a minute. You want to talk about something?
Oh, yeah. I got something I want to ask you.
Well, let's talk about it. You know what? Let's go back to this. There you go. Go ahead.
Nice. Which is, if Deshaun Watson gets suspended,
ooh,
and you're Baker Mayfield, are you playing a down for that team? After what they've done to you this offseason, after not trading you, after going out and grabbing your replacement and still refusing to trade you, are you playing a down for them? Or are you going to play bad football?
Bad football.
Are you going to go out there and be like, oops, I overthrew him?
What? And I'm typing right now so I can look up. What is the Baker Mayfield contract status at this point? So
well, he's under contract.
Right.
I think through this year.
So I'm just trying to see what the details are. Contract terms is a 4-year deal. He's a free agent in 2023. So this is the last year. He's in the last year of his deal.
Yeah.
So that being said, he's got 2 options. One is he could absolutely tank it and say, meh. You know what I mean? He's getting paid his base salary for this. So I'm looking at his base salary for the first 4 years of the contract, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Mm-hmm.
And it was $480,000, $570,000, $750, $920. This year it's $18 million.
Yeah.
His base salary is $18.8 million this year. That's huge. He has no incentive to go play for the Cleveland Browns other than he can showcase what he can do for somebody else because he'll be a
Right.
free agent, and that would be the only incentive to go out and play well. If you want to get out of the league, go play CFL or whatever. I mean, now's your opportunity to tank something and get out. But I would say he's going to come out and try hard, and he's going to play because he'll want to go to some other team where he'll be needed. And maybe there's still a chance in the middle of the season that they'll move him somewhere.
Yeah.
Trade him to somebody. I don't know, but yeah, the likelihood of Deshaun Watson being suspended is high. But I don't know that they're going to immediately turn to Baker Mayfield. Did they not pick up? Who'd they pick up? Dang it! Now you're going to make me go look at the Cleveland Browns
roster. I honestly do not know the other person they picked up. Like I know that they put all their money into Deshaun. Jacoby Brissett and Josh Dobbs are on the team also.
Jacoby Brissett.
They're neither one of those is any more stellar or standout than Baker Mayfield. I think Deshaun Watson right now on the depth chart, Deshaun Watson's the 1, Baker Mayfield's the 2. But with how you've been slighted and disrespected, are you even going to give it an effort? Or are you going to say you need to trade me right now?
I like how on the depth chart on ESPN, Baker Mayfield is questionable.
Questionable.
Why is he questionable? Because he may not be there, or he may not decide to play. I mean, is he hurt?
No, he's
Already?
not hurt anymore. He's not hurt
Okay.
anymore.
They've got like 3 players listed on the depth chart. Greedy Williams being one of those, questionable. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I feel like Deshaun Watson's going to get suspended. I feel like that's a given.
I think
How
I think
long?
we all feel that way. Yeah.
How long is the question?
Okay, so then the simple question is, if you're Baker Mayfield, what do you do?
Yeah, I go out and play. I'm gonna go out and play hard, and I'm gonna preface it by telling whoever was gonna listen that I want out.
Right.
Yeah, you guys need to get rid of me. You guys need to trade me to somebody. I'm gonna play as hard as I can, and we're gonna win as many football games as we can. But I would like to play somewhere else.
Would you be critical of the team the whole time?
No.
So maybe you go out and play hard. Maybe you guys win games. Maybe you've got 8-9 wins. But are you still doing press conferences saying, yeah, these guys tried to screw me this year. This team that I play for tried to host me.
I don't know that you can do that because if you do that, the other teteams are going to pick up on that and not want you there for that possibility that you're going to do that to them.
They'll also pick up on the fact that you went out and won. I feel like if you do that without winning, yes, obvious. Now you're a bad attitude and you can't win. But if you're winning, when you pretty knowingly around the league got host, unless there's an element to this that I don't know, that no one knows, or that only league GMs know, I'm pretty sure you could probably ask a GM from, the Broncos, say, hey, how do you feel about how they're handling Baker Mayfield? You go, they're handling it poorly.
Oh, that's true.
So I feel like as long as you go out and perform on the field, it's clear that you're giving it your all.
Right.
I don't think any team's going to blame you for having an opinion. Now, it's one thing to just be like, people ask you about your contract situation, and you just say, yeah, I would have preferred to have been out here earlier, but they clearly didn't want it that way. That's one thing to say that. It's another thing to go out and start dropping F-bombs and saying that these guys are a-holes and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, have some tact.
Sure.
But I still think you would be completely justified to be vocal and critical of the team, even to the media, as long as it's evident that you are playing your heart out. Okay. I don't think any other team would blame you for it. Any other GM would blame you for it. I don't think any other GM would hesitate to take you if it was clear the product was going to be good, given the circumstance. That's what I think.
Okay.
So I would do the same thing. I would play hard, but I would be extremely critical. I would be very vocal.
I don't know. And I would tell you that as a coach or GM, if I was,
right,
that wouldn't sit well with me because not being the Browns GM, I'm talking about another GM from another team. Because right. I don't want you to come and do that to me if something happens on our team. Right. I don't want you to be talking crap about our team too.
Yeah, no, it absolutely seems like it could be pretty rough, but also, you can also not hose the player.
No, and I get that. And
right.
I think that what the Browns are doing is wrong. Absolutely. And I think that he has every right to complain if he wants to complain. But I'm just saying I think he's better off not doing that.
Oh, he's probably better off not doing that. Yes, that is a very diplomatic way of saying that. He's absolutely better off keeping his mouth shut and winning football games.
Yeah.
That is his best case scenario for getting signed by another team.
Yeah.
Is that what you should do though when somebody's doing when
You need
somebody's
Well,
doing you wrong? He's got 18 million guaranteed this year. He
yeah,
ain't hurting for money.
that's right.
So, at what point are you allowed to have a little, personal pride? That's the kicker. And
Yeah.
in this situation, everyone agrees that he's being hosed, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we all agree.
Unless, like I said, unless there's an element to this that I do not know, that I am not aware of,
Ass-
which there very well may be.
Assuming he plays the whole season,
Right.
and just saying he's not going to, but assuming he plays the whole season,
Why wouldn't he?
he'll make. I mean, maybe Deshaun Watson gets suspended for 6 games.
Oh, gotcha.
Assuming
that's what you mean.
Yeah, but assuming he plays the whole season, he's going to make $1.1 million a game. So,
Well, it's guaranteed. It doesn't matter if he plays or not. That's his money.
I understood, but I'm just saying, basically, if you break it down per game, he makes $1.1 million a game, and it's
Sure.
money in the bank. It's already there. So he has no actual incentive other than a free agent deal to play well. He has no real incentive to help the Browns win.
Right.
Because as soon as you and I both know, as soon as Deshaun Watson gets cleared or comes back from suspension,
Right.
they're going to want him to be the quarterback.
Right.
So he has no real incentive, and I think that's the bitter part that he's going to be vocal. But I would be vocal to the team itself and not necessarily to the media. That's how I would run it. You know what I mean? I would be very vocal to the team and say, I'm going to take my $1 million. I got you a win. The world's good. Next game, I'll go out and I'll get another win. I'll play as best I can, get $1 million. You know what I mean? I've already got 18 million to sit in the bank, earn interest. I don't care. And you know what? If we win, we win, and if we lose, we lose. And he's got nothing. The good news is he has nothing to lose.
Oh, except according to you, if you're another GM, this wouldn't sit well with you. He has that to lose. He has another contract on another team to lose.
But what I'm getting at, he's already got $18 million. He has nothing to lose out of this contract. There's zero.
Nothing to lose. What you and me think would to lose, he could lose out on playing in the NFL as a starter.
He could.
That's what he could lose out on. Which again, money's no longer his concern. It's more pride at this point.
I don't think that's an issue. I just think he has to be on a different team. I don't think he's not good enough to play. I don't think that he's great by any stretch. I don't think he's a great quarterback.
He's better than Drew Lock.
He's
better than Sam Darnold.
There are probably 4 or 5 or 6 teams where he could go play and be a starter immediately and be better than what they've got. And that's what I'm getting at.
He's one of
Tua. He's one of them middle. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Tua is very good. What do I know? But
yeah, I just think the Browns need to do right by him and trade him.
They should. They absolutely should.
Because they're putting him in a real bad situation to have to bottle up very, very, very valid feelings to appear like a team player. That is inappropriate of them to make him have to do that.
And we're not even counting the money he got from commercials,
the endorsements and things like that. Oh yeah, he's money wise, he's not concerned. This is just about how am I going to get to the next team?
Yeah, he needs.
And are the Browns actually trying to help him? Because now the suspension's looming, it's looking like they made a good decision to hold on to him because he is their next best quarterback on that roster. But you absolutely hose this guy to do this.
I feel like Jacoby Brissett is a serviceable quarterback. I feel like he's better than a lot of people.
Less serviceable than Baker. I'm going to say less serviceable than Baker.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's a little more one-dimensional. I think Baker's got a little more he's a little more dynamic. I think, Jacoby Brissett's good. It just, again, serviceable, less serviceable. Baker Mayfield's a B minus. Jacoby Brissett's a C+. So it could all get you a win, but it's nothing glamorous.
Yeah.
I think Josh Dobbs never got a proper shot. He got tucked up there behind Ben Roethlisberger and never really had a chance to play at Pittsburgh. But who knows? The word around the water cooler is that he's the smartest person in their room, which doesn't surprise me with Baker and Deshaun in that same room.
Yeah, well, that's hard to say. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think that they'd be better off to trade him, and it would work out better for everybody. But they can't trade him now because you know Deshaun Watson's going to get some sort of suspension. Just don't know how long it's going to be.
Yeah,
So
but does he hold them over a barrel now and say, okay, well, I would love to stay and play for you guys. I'm going to need a 5-year
he
extension.
could do that.
5-year extension, we'll say $20 million a year. Sound good on top of what you're paying Deshaun?
Right.
Like, oof.
Otherwise, my foot hurts.
Otherwise, oh no,
Right.
I have a guaranteed $18 million and I'm
turf
sore.
toe. I have turf
Right. And then you don't have to be vocal in a press conference because you don't play.
No, turf toe hurts. I can't. You know what I mean? Got limited. It's
my independent doctor says my shoulder's not quite ready yet.
I'm an independent doctor.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which my NFLPA rep tells me I'm entitled to seek that opinion.
That's right. That's interesting. I mean, it's an interesting situation. We're gonna have to watch as it unfolds. We gotta know more about Deshaun Watson's situation first. I mean, we gotta know what's
the word
happen.
around the water cooler is that it's going to be an unprecedented suspension.
I mean, so when everybody does something, the first time that it happens or the first time they lay down punishment, the punishments aren't good enough, and there's always outcry over these things. We're talking about Ray Rice as an example. Yeah. The outcry comes up, and then the next guy suffers for all of that. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve an unprecedented suspension. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter whether he does or not. He's going to get it.
Yeah, he's going to get a tough one.
Yeah, because there's things that have happened in the past, and we're going to set got to make an example out of somebody. We didn't the last time, but we are going to make it now, because that's how it always works. It's never the first guy. It's just like flags in the NFL. Oh, I didn't see you push him, but I saw you slap him on the face, so here's a penalty.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway,
we'll see.
I like it. That's a good question. That was a really good question, and I don't know the answer to it, and I don't know what Baker Mayfield's going to do. I would like to know. I'd like to hear him say. But, I mean, he's not going to give away his tip off his hand now.
Let's all be real. He's been surprisingly calm, externally.
Yeah.
Through all of this.
And he hasn't said anything, really. He hasn't been, I mean, not overly, nothing that you could, there's no media surrounding him every day waiting for a quote.
I mean, after Deshaun was signed, they had him in a press conference, after a walkthrough or something like that, and all he said was, "I'm going to control what I can control." You could tell he was unhappy.
Oh yeah,
but he said the right words.
Here's a bigger question for you. Let's say that they don't suspend him for a year,
right?
But they suspend him for 9 games, over half the season.
I think I know where this is going.
And the Browns are 8-1.
There's no way. There's no way you do it.
You don't bring in Deshaun and swap?
There's no way you bench the guy who's got you 8-1. There's no way. If you do that, you will incur the wrath of
the fans.
The owners, of the fans, yes, but of the players.
Oh, absolutely.
The players around the league who will no longer want to come play for your organization.
We're winning, yeah. So what's the record where it's okay to swap back? Let's say 9 games. Let's say he gets a 9-game suspension.
I'd say if you're 500.
5-4.
Yeah, if after a 9-game suspension, if you're 5-4 or 4-5, somewhere in that range, I'd say that's okay, because you're still kind of in the playoff hunt, but you're teetering on falling out of it.
And in that division, 6-3 would be a good record.
Right.
At that point, I mean,
and who knows what the Steelers are going to do?
Right.
The Steelers could be terrible this year. Lamar Jackson's trying to get a new contract, and the Bengals could take a step back, but we have to assume they're going to stay a 10, 11, 12 win team.
Yeah, you kind of do. But I mean, if you guys are going, it all depends. That's a tough division.
Yeah, but if you're firmly out of playoffs, don't swap them.
Right.
Don't swap them at all. As a matter of fact, show some quote good grace and have Deshaun be team imposed suspension for an extra few games.
Right. I think
whatever.
I think if you're 8-1 or 1-8, you don't do anything. You'd let Baker finish the season.
It's if you're teetering on still being playoff eligible.
Right. If you think that by inserting him, he'll give you the extra wins you need to make the playoffs, that's the only reason you do it.
He'll make those couple of throws better here and there that you needed.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Okay, that brings us to the actual Best Time Sports Show trivia question, brought to you by Stave and Stone Wine Estates. Where's my trivia question? See, that's not it. That's not what you want to see. Nobody wants to see Jacoby Brissett. And I don't have anything ready. All my ads are all messed up, and all my papers are out of whack, and this is like a total disaster. Best Slam Sports Show trivia questions brought to you by Stave and Stone Wine Estates in Hood River. The winery at the Vineyard is 3827 Fletcher Drive, open 7 days a week from 12 to 6 for indoor and patio dining. The downtown tasting room is open 12 to 6 Thursday through Sunday. Call them at 541-490-9461 for more information. Go to staveandstone.com, check out their selection of award-winning wines, or make a reservation and go taste for yourself. Stave and Stone Winery, winner of the 2021 Best Local Winery in the Best of the Gorge Awards. So they're the sponsor of the trivia question. The trivia question was, in case you didn't hear it at the beginning of the show, which Pac-12 basketball team has been in the NCAA basketball tournament the fewest times?
Fewest times, yep.
What is it?
My guess is Washington State.
It is Washington State. Ding, 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 ding.
It was okay. So I was bouncing back forth between Washington State and Utah.
Okay, there you go.
I know Oregon's got a good run. Arizona, I know. The California schools have all been good at one point or another. I was torn on Colorado, Utah, and Wazoo were the three teams that I was kind of like riffing on. But I think Colorado's been quite a few times. So it was Utah and Wazoo were the two.
So here's in backwards order. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Washington State 6 times. Oregon State 15 times. Colorado 15 times. Arizona State 16 times.
I figured they would have gone more, dang.
Washington, Stanford, and Oregon 17 times. California 18 times. USC 19 times. Utah has been to the NCAA tournament 29 times.
Whew.
Yeah, Utah's a bit, but that was back when they were in the Mountain West.
Right.
So a lot of that. So there's that. Arizona 35 times and UCLA 49 times. So
Jeez Louise.
There you go. UCLA is 6th all time in terms of NCAA tournament appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
speaking of which, Johnny Chusang did not get drafted, but he signed with the Jazz, which I thought was a great pickup for them.
That's a good free agent pickup for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's a good player. I don't know how good in the NBA, but I think he's got enough skills to be good. He's probably going to be a role player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think he's on that team. That's probably a really good pickup.
Yeah, I think Jaime Jaquez is a better player, but yeah, I didn't. Well, he's still in college, so he's not there yet. But I think next year he's going to go higher.
Which just goes to show you have to have the initials JJ to play at UCLA.
Something like that, yeah.
It's kind of weird. UCLA has some weird things that happen. And I guess if you watch UCLA sports long enough, you see these things. But like Jaime Jaquez and Johnny Juzang are both JJ, right? Which is kind of weird. I mean, it's not really weird, but it's kind of weird. Back a few years ago, and this was probably 10 or 12 years ago, they put out kickers back to back that had weird kicker names. Kai Forbath, right?
Forbath, yeah.
Kai now I can't remember the other one for the life of me. Kai Forbath was the one, and I don't remember the other. Anyway, but what was his name? Oh, holy cow! I gotta look it up now. We gotta end it right.
Another kicker?
Yeah, they had another kicker before him or after him. That was oh god, and he's not here now because I can't find it now. There's no way. Anyway,
talking about Fairbairn?
Yeah, Fairbairn.
Fairbairn.
Kaimi Fairbairn.
Yeah.
Was replaced by Kai Forbath.
Yeah.
What?
Interesting names.
That is weird. I mean, it's just they were on they were yeah. So or backwards. I guess Fairbairn replaced Forbath. So
it's not as exciting as Rob Beard of Oregon.
Rob Beard.
Yeah. What a name.
I mean, does he even have a beard?
Probably not.
I feel like you should definitely have a beard if you're going to be named.
Maybe you just don't on purpose because of the name. That's taking it too far.
I'm anti-beard because of that. All right. Formula One is at Silverstone, England this Sunday. It's going to be exciting. If you're going to watch, it's on ESPN probably, or ESPN2, one of those two networks, but check it out. First round action at Wimbledon is going on right now. We'll talk about Wimbledon next weekend. The USFL Championship is Sunday. We'll try and get that covered too. We're going to cover all those things plus the MLB, WNBA, MLS, NBA, and NFL draft and or trade, not draft, but trade rumors, free agent rumors, things like that. We're going to cover a lot of that. We're also going to talk about what's going on in Washington with the Commanders next week. Daniel Snyder and all of that nonsense, which it's really interesting, and I think this, from what I see, just saying, this might be the end of Roger Goodell.
Sounds right.
Daniel Snyder may bring down Roger Goodell as a commissioner, but
Sounds right.
we'll talk about that and why next week. Again, we're on YouTube every week. We're on Twitter at Lamm Sports. We're on Facebook under the Best Lamm Sports Show. And you know what I always forget to do?
What?
Play music.
Eh.
Because there should always be music on the way out, on the way in, after commercial, right?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, we're on Twitter at Lamm Sports, on Facebook under the Best Lamm Sports Show. You can email us, lammsports@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out the website. It's lammsports.com. www.lammsports.com. Does anybody in the world still type in www?
No.
Okay. Anyway, but check out the website. Links to the past shows, trivia questions on there. This show will be on there. And anyway, that's all we have for this week. And we'll see you next week. This has been a Brain Rock production, a division of Lonely Tree Media, LLC. Thank you.